Yay, hello, 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 hello. I'm not getting any notifications that some of my destinations aren't working. That's a good sign, I think. All right. Hi, everybody. Happy day before Thanksgiving. I was going to say day before Halloween. I'm going to pull us up. Karen Lockwood. Do. Your groups. And here we are. Oh, there I am. I'm right there. And then I'm in
That's a good sign.
At everyone. Two people are on. Hi, Michelle. Hey, Monica. All right. Let me do this really quick. It's not letting me do the at everyone because I'm in my wrong profile, I guess. I like to tell oh yeah, there it is, at everyone. Space. We are live! Exclamation point. There we go. Send that off. All right. Hi, you guys. How's everybody doing? Happy day before Halloween. I thank goodness for Monica because so I was painting good and thank goodness I was painting all day long. Today was a very stressful day because my husband's company was announcing layoffs today. And so that's what happened to us in 2008. That's what sent our whole world coming crashing down was Capital One, who he still works for, announced layoffs in 2008 and he got laid off. But this is the second round of layoffs this year. So, and he did not get laid off. So, but they closed the whole entire California office. So had we had stayed in California, he would have been out of a job again. So I guess that's good news. That kind of makes me feel better about that decision to leave. Sometimes I question, if it was the right decision. But yeah, he would be out of a job again. So anyways, thank goodness that we are okay. And I feel super bad for the people who have lost their jobs, the entire California team, which is a lot of his friends, our friends. And there is about, I think they said a little bit less than 20% of the entire Capital One employees. So that is frightening, but we're going to do, so I did a little paint therapy because he's like, I don't know when they're going to tell us, they're just going to give us a message that we have to get on a call. And so we had to stay home, that he had to like just stay by the computer and stay by the phone. So that was freaking stressful. So I painted all day long, which was nice with music on and all that. I just ignored it. I ignored the stress. What can you do, right? So today we're doing a fall watercolor floral. And I've been kind of all over the place with kind of what I wanted to paint. And I, just painted a whole bunch in the last day or two. And so I think I'm just going to kind of wing this. But the way it's going to be fall is I'm going to use some teals and some browns and, some rust colors. And it'll still be bright because I just can't seem to get away from that. But I'm going to try my best to give it a fall look. But it won't be like a fall, like orange and yellow and brown. It's just not in my wheelhouse. I just can't do it. Purple. I think purple is a nice fall color, even though I don't like purple. But I think it is a good fall color. I do have it in front of my house because I know it goes well with yellow. Right, Michelle? Yes, letting my art help me through this. So I'm going to put the camera down. I'll show you what I have first. I have a paint palette just to get watercolors on, and so I can dilute them. I have a spray bottle. I have my brand new watercolor set. So any watercolors are going to be fine. But since I just got this in the mail yesterday, I was like, I'm going to use it. I have sprayed it with a lot of water because I want to be able to do two things. I want to have diluted watercolors and I want to have bright poppy watercolors. And so if you spray your watercolors and let the water sink in and then dry brush with it, it's going to look like acrylic paint, like super bright. And And that's a fun way to layer your watercolors. So I've got my paper. It's taped onto my table, actually, to my dining room table. Paper towels. I have 4 cups of water, so I don't have to get up. I've got my spray bottle and lots of brushes and a pencil. So I'm going to pencil in a rough sketch right away, and then we'll get going. Okay. Alrighty then. Seamus is by my feet, so if I jump, that's because he bit me. He likes to bite feet, as Michelle knows. Okay, so how am I going to get this on here correctly? Because I'm gonna have you be by my side. Let me see how that looks. If that looks more upside down. Nope, that looks more right side up. Okay, so you're gonna have to be at an angle, a little bit of an angle. You're on this side so you can see. If you're on that side or overhead, you won't be able to see since I'm right-handed. But what I'm going to do first is put my sunglasses on. He's a little stinker. He has anxiety today, and he's probably because he was feeling our anxiety. I mean, I was literally having a panic attack planning what I would do, because I kind of saved us when he lost his job before. That sounds pompous, but it's what happened. I was able to take on more work because I worked in a career that was, whenever there's a recession, it's a good thing. So I was able to grow my business and take on lots of work. All right. So this is going to be, I think, a very layered, really, really pretty watercolor. It might take a little bit of time and patience, but I'm going to start by drawing a vase here, just sketching a vase. And I go right off the middle usually. You guys know what I do. You know my gig, right? And little rounded bottom here, and it's going to come all the way over to the side of the paper. And go up a little taller on that side maybe, because the flowers will be coming down here. Okay. All right, so I'm just going to get like one big flower in here, and then I feel like I want a sunflower in the middle. I think that would be really, really pretty. And so I'm not even going to sketch out all the petals because I don't want a lot of the, but I'm just putting 4 petals down, which will give me a good idea of what I'm wanting to do. And then maybe another big round one up here. And maybe a sunflower going off this way. Over here. So these are just to give me ideas of, you know, what I have going on here, what I want in here. And maybe that's going to be 2 stems. They're both kind of going off that way. You probably can't see this. I know. That's just the way it goes sometimes. And then some leaves coming down here. Yeah, we're going to have leaves coming out here. Maybe a little extra. Oh, let's do like a protea type thing here. That's just going to give me an idea of the protea. I think proteas are really fall looking flowers. The leaves coming out. Okay, so that's just a sketch just to kind of like get the composition down. Okay, so we're going to start, and I'm going to start with kind of a bigger brush, and I have 4 cups of water. So I've got some clear here and some regular piece of paper for practicing colors on. And I'm going to get a background. So I'm going to wet this paper, and I'm going to go kind of around these flowers. And as soon as I do that, the painting is going to start to show up. So we're going to get a nice, very, very light background. And I do have a dryer with me, so I can dry, so we can kind of go fairly fast here. Okay, and it's going to be very, very light background because I don't want, I want to be able to paint over it and not have the color show through. So I'm going to start with a real, real pale green. And how I'm going to do that is I'm going to get some green. Okay, and then I'm going to clean that brush off. I'm going to be going through lots of water. And then I'm going to get into my white watercolor. And I'm going to get lots on my brush and mix it with that green. And then add even a little bit more water. I'm going to just spray some water on my palette so I can get those bubbles, those water bubbles up. Move this bubble over here. There. Okay, so that should do it. Really light. I want it to really spread and move. And I actually want it lighter than this, so I'm just going to keep on using the paint that's already on here and move this, because this is kind of dark, if I do say so. And I can just get some more white too. I'm going to ruin this white. Like I have no self-control as far as that kind of stuff goes. Lots of layers. So what I'm learning about watercolor is layering, layering, layering. The more layers, the more interest. Just like, I guess it's not just watercolor, but watercolor especially, I think. See, my paper already dried. And I can go in, since this green is so light, I can go in and change the color. All right, so there we go. We have that. And I might take a paper towel and even give it like some blotting for texture. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. All right, good. Okay, so there we go. We've got that. And right away, I'm going to go right in and I'm going to get the shading for the vase. So that's going to give it a little even more oomph and fun. So I'm going to go in with just like a blue over this green. This is like a periwinkle blue. And kind of just draw in a little shade. Too wet. This is my biggest problem, is I always paint with my watercolor brush too wet. It's my biggest faux pas. I got to remember to dry it off on the, so this is just the shade from the vase. And again, blot, blot, blot. And I'm just going to darken that now by just grabbing another color of darker blue. It's going to go under that. And just smush it out. Did you get something, Seamus?
Yes.
Daddy gave you something? He came over here like he felt he was special. Okay, so now I've got that nice dark shade underneath the base. The base we're going to worry about later. And now we're going to start getting some light background stuff going on. So we're going to get some light, really light leaves and floral fauna, blah, 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 blah. We're going to get some leaves on. So I'm going to use a few different shapes of brushes. And I'm following kind of like these lines that I put in here for my leaves. But I'm going to make them light. So I'm going to take another color of green and add it to this and add water to it. Then I'm going to dab it off. And we're just going to start getting them on really light. See how light that is? I'm not going to worry about if things, I'm going to get some in here in the middle too, just some colors going on. I'm not going to worry about, like if things are bleeding, I'm gonna, what happens when I do this is I start really tight and then I loosen up in the end. And I want to be loose. I really do. But I do start tight, which I wish I didn't do, but I do. So there's that. Takes me a bit. It's like almost like a feeling of calming down, but you can see I'm already starting to loosen up. Ooh, why is it so hot in here? Because I turned the heat way up. That's why. Okay. All right, so I've got that. Now I'm going to go back to that periwinkle blue. Actually, I'll do a light blue and get some light blue in there on those flowers. And I know it's not like right now, it's not looking very fall, but it will. Oops, look at all that. That's way too much bleeding. Said I wanted bleeding, but not that much. All right, let's let some of that dry. And then I'm just gonna layer in, while I'm here, I'm gonna layer in with some gold. That's not gold enough. Let's get some more gold out. But I'm not going to overlap so much because these are also wet. So I'm just going to kind of do that. I'm going to use this gold and I'm going to start doing sunflowers. So this sunflower is right here. I want this to be kind of heavy, not so light. And I'm going to get a different brush because I hate this brush. For my sunflowers, I want this brush. All right. I don't even like this brush for the sunflowers. This is my problem. I have brush anxiety. Seamus just got fed and he's already begging for food. He's so annoying. Once this first layer of petals dries, let's let that go under this flower. Then I'm going to put some more petals on here that are overlapping. All right. Ooh, I love the variation of color. Ooh, I love that. You guys there? Anyone talking to me? You have new watercolor brushes. Okay. So let's just layer these up. I like when drawing sunflowers to make them super wonky. And then once this layer dries, I will come in and get some of the flowers. So see how that's showing through? I can just take this straight up and cover that there. All right, let's add some color to those leaves. So let's add some bright orange now that it's wet, just to get some variation. And then I'm going to actually get some red in there too. Okay, I've got lots of water on there, so let's just take some of that up. Then it'll dry faster for us. We'll let that dry, and then I'm going to paint some leaves going wonky over that. Ooh, I like that so far. Okay. Obviously, the middle is going to be a brown or a black, so we're going to do that later. And I'm going to have a sip of my wine. Yes, I am. And we're going to get a magenta flower on here. I do think magenta is a beautiful fall color. Where's the brush I want? There it is. And so we're going to do magenta, and then we're going to get brown in there layering as a glaze. But I want this to be pretty dark right off the bat. So let me try it here. Yep. All right. Okay, now that part I want to be dark, but I don't want that much water on it. See what I do? I always forget to take the paint off my brush, take too much water off my brush. I do it every time, you guys. Okay, so that's dark, but now I want it lighter. So I'm going to spray some water on here, get some water on my brush, and then continue to take that around. Let it bleed together. I don't want to touch the yellow in the sunflower though. There we go. Now I can get some more dark in there by just tapping. Okay, so I'm going to let that dry because that is going to get like a brown wash in a little bit. So this guy is going to dry a little bit. Let's bring it all the way out here though. Oop. All right, that's okay. It bled a little bit, but that's fine. It's going to be pretty. Now I'm going to get an orange, and it's going to be like a brown orange. It's actually brown, but I'm going to mix it with this gold. So I guess it'll be like a mum. Yeah. So this will be like a mum. Let's try not to touch the watercolor flower. I mean the watercolor flower, the sunflower. Pretty. All right, good. Okay, protea. This is going to be a protea here. So let me wipe that off. Okay, this one is tricky. So this one's going to have a pale, pale yellow middle. So you're hardly even going to see it. And I drew it way too small. So we're going to do that. And then we're going to let that dry before we go on, because we can't do anything with that. Let me take up some of the paint and put some dry paint on there. Okay. Dry my brush. Let's put some dry paint on. Okay. So it's gonna kind of work a little bit. It's not like acrylic, it's still watercolor, but it's thick and it's dry and it's on. Okay. All right, we need some more bright, some yellows and golds. Let's see, we've got that rose. Oh, it's looking okay so far. So I'm going to do yellow and orange for these guys over here. So these are like sunflowers that are drooping. What happened there? Does anybody know what happened there? I don't even know what happened there. That was supposed to be a sunflower right there. What did I do? I don't even know what that is. What did I do, you guys? Oh my gosh, I'm painting way too wet. Let's try that again. Okay, now rinse that off, dry the brush off, tap it in some orange, and just tap that orange in there. That looks terrible. Okay, let me see if I can get some orange over all this stuff. If not, that's fine. It's supposed to be my sunflowers. That's okay. We won't do that. Take that off. We'll figure something else out. We'll put one up here. That works. Okay, and then this one down here can just be like a magenta blob, like it's like almost like a rose gone bad. And maybe add some of that orange into there just for effect. Oh, that's pretty. And take some of that paint up. Okay, so I said when this is dry, I'm going to go back in and make some wonky leaves over it. It's almost dry, so let's blow it. Oh, I love that sunflower so far. I love it. All right, so let me get my control brush and we'll make some wonky leaves over that. So let's see here. What color did I do that with? I did that with the yellow ochre. Whoa, too much water, Kara. Okay, so now we've got some leaves coming this way, some coming this way. I don't know, you guys probably can't see that, but I always think sunflowers can get so wonky. I want the leaves to overlap each other and not look, you know, perfect. And what I can do is just gives a few of these leaves a little outline with brown once they dry, just a little bit. Okay, so let's go in. Is this dry? Almost. Let's do this with let's do a dark red. Let's see. Put a little bit of water on my brush. And get into that red. No, I want it dark. Let me see. Okay. All right. So we're just going to go around this. I like this red that's on here, so that's why I'm just like, oh, let's just get a little bit of this on these sunflowers. Pretty. All right. How we doing, guys? How we doing? Just adding a little red here and there to this, maybe even in here. Deepen it up. And no, I don't want to do that with that brush, but I do want to add that in there. So which brush did I use to do that? Maybe this one. Okay. All right, let's get some more background in now. And then we're going to get background, leaves, stems in, and more leaves, and lots of colors in the leaves, and lots of fun, lots and lots of. How many more times can I say lots of? Lots of. All right, I will start with a dark green, and we'll get some stems in there. Gosh, I thought I really put a lot of water on these, but apparently I didn't. It's always, these are really fun watercolors, but it's always fun. It's always hard when you get a new set and you're like, what? I don't get it. It's not the same as my other ones. These can be very, very bright, or they can be very, very light, which obviously that's all watercolors. Now, I don't care if this bleeds a little bit. I want it to bleed. I'm going to start practicing my loosening up now, allowing some of this stuff to bleed. And then I'm going to kind of get in with a couple different, oh, this is going to be pretty. A couple different colors of greens and browns. Put some veining in this leaf. And more leaves, more leaves, more leaves. So I'm going to get my fancy leaf drawing brushes out. These are the dagger brushes, and they're my absolute favorite brushes for drawing leaves or painting leaves. And let's get this muted green. Take some of that water off. Ooh, that is heavy. Okay. So this is going to be much darker than that green, so it's going to really show up nicely. These brushes, if you don't have them, you can't fail in drawing leaves. You just can't. They're so good. You can draw them in any different direction. It's just they're so good for painting leaves. Keep on saying drawing, but I mean painting. Right over the other one. Okay, I'm going to get another color now and stick that in some of those leaves. So a brighter green, and we're going to just drop it in where they're wet, giving them some fun dimension. Okay, so I want that to dry. Let's just get some stems in here while we're here. Okay, and other colors of stems in there? Yes. We don't have any blue in this. We don't have any purple. We need some purple. So we'll start with the stem and then I'll get some flowers. Okay. Got to get the purple in there for fall, right? Right, Michelle? Let me get a different brush. Okay, I brought a square brush. That's too big. I'll use this brush. Get that purple right by that gold. So pretty. That purple really, really does kind of pull it all together, doesn't it? But I am going to start now doing a lot of this and just kind of getting color on there in the background. My favorite part to do is the vase. And the wash over these flowers. I like doing that too. Hi, Missa. Okay, so I'm going to get some brighter green in. Let's see. Let's go with this. I think that's like a teal green. Yeah. Teal green to me is so fall. Like, oh, I love it. Look at that teal green. And just let it all. So now I'm just going to let everything in the background start blending together. Because I'm happy with the flowers, except for that I need to add to the sunflower. But I want this all to become like a blurry little mess. A blurry little mess. Not so much a mess. Let's add some more of the green leaves up here. Water. I need more water. I need that to be lighter. And take the water off my brush. Okay, let's see. I'm going to get the middle of the sunflower in. It's going to be dark, dark, dark brown. Okay, we're going to let that dry. Gonna let that dry, and then I'm going to go in with little tiny dots of black around it. Okay, so it's going to have even more detail. Now, I'm not even nearly done with this, but I will add marker and all that. But what I want to do now is go in and start playing with the vase. This is going to be so fun. So this teal color, well, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make the vase wet. Okay, so I'm going to get some clear water. Don't have a lot left. This is dry enough, and I don't care if those blend. Okay, so I'm going to make the vase wet. Everything else is dry, so when I put water on here, it's going to stay there. It's going to stay in this vase. Or when I put paint in here, it's going to bleed there, and I'm going to do the middles separately like that. Okay. So I want this teal color. I think that was this one. Yes, I want that to bleed in here like water. And that is what I want. Now I'm going to go in with a different color, maybe this blue, and then I'll have to put some blue into the painting also. And then we'll go, it's going to be crazy. It's going to be crazy. Where's my color chart? I need to know which one I'm looking at. This one. And just let it all bleed. Just encourage that to bleed a little bit more. And let me get some more teal. Maybe I'll go with another teal. I had 2 teals, I think. Oh, this one. This one? Whoops, that's going right into the under. Don't let it. Let's get some of that magenta in there. And I'm just going to start picking up some paint and putting it in here. So when this dries, which you guys aren't going to be privy to that, when this dries, I will take a wash of white watercolor. Okay, so I have a white in my palette, and I will be covering this whole thing in that, which is going to make that be a little bit hazy. Okay, so now I'm dabbing. Good, and I love it. So I'm gonna paint around the edges just to kind of give it a clear edge. Nice. All right. Super fun. All right, let's get a little dot. Let's get little dots of black on that water, on that sunflower. It's cool because it's bleeding because it's still wet, so we're good. This is fun. But the yellow's not wet, so I can just kind of go in and do this around here. And if I mix some of this brown with black and water it down, I can create just a little bit of dimension in these, a little bit of separation in these guys. And maybe add some stems here and there. Maybe even add some of that brown to the stems so they're not just all green. Ooh, let's add some grasses up here because that's so folly, right? The grasses. Maybe some grasses right here. There's just this paint is so good. Do you see how it will just keep on going? Let's put some brown around that. It's pretty. This is where I like to start layering and adding stuff in. This is, I feel like adding all the browns and the teals is what's, it just makes it fall, right? What did I say I was going to put a wash over? Oh, this one. Is it dry? Yes, it is. All right. So we're going to just do a little tiny wash over that. Let's see, what color shall I use? I'm going to use, it's like this gold wash, but I'm going to get it really thin, like lots and lots of water on my brush. And then I'm going to take a lot of water off my brush, and I'm just going to wash over this, and it's going to give it a more fall-y. It's going to blend all of that together. Just a more blended watercolor look. And I think I'll put that wash over this too. And then I think I'll add some dots to this right here. And maybe some dots in the middle of this to darken it, or just a dark area. And then I think I'm done, you guys. What do you guys think? It's kind of pretty, huh? I like the vase. Okay, so that is dry. Let's do the white. Let's do the whitewash. Let me get my brush really clean. This is dry, so I can do the whitewash on this and see how that works. Okay. Nope, more white. It just blended it a little bit more. It didn't really do anything. I think I'd have to do that with a wax. But what I can do is I can take some of this teal and water it down and make like a little, almost like make a water line here. Yeah, I like that. That's pretty. All right, you guys, I'm all done. I'm all done. Hi, Cece. Good. Ah, good. Yeah, I have to get ready. I've got masked in, I guess, a week and a half now. Oh, goodness. And my stepdaughter's coming to visit, so it's going to be crazy. But that's okay. That's life. Yeah, and we'll see when it dries. Like, I'm going to see whether I like it the way it is, or I can already see something I don't like, and I can tell you it's that Protea. It needs to be softer. Everything is soft, and that Protea is like harsh. So probably what I'll go do is go in with a paler color and yeah, just kind of do this. And there, I already like it better. Right over, see, there's a fix for everything. And then just add some of this brown down here to it. There, better. Yay, that's better. Alrighty. All right, you guys. Delight is waiting for me. Everybody, I hope you have a wonderful week. I will see you on Friday. And stay warm. It's freezing cold outside, so stay warm. Show it to us. Show this to you. Like put it up straight. Okay, let me take it off my table. Is that what you're saying, Michelle? It always looks so cool when you take the tape off of a watercolor painting or any painting, like if you taped it, because you got a little border. Oh, it looks really pretty. It's wet, so I can't, like, there's parts that will drip. So I can't hold it up too long. I'll take a photo of it and then I will put it up, okay? Or maybe I can dab it. Let's see. Yeah, okay, there we go. Now I can hold it up. It was just the sunflower, I think. Still wet a little bit, but I like the vase. Oh, I like the vase. All right. Okay, you guys, have a great evening, and I'll talk to you very soon. Thank you, Carrie. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Thank you, Cece. All right, bye, guys.